No, 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 no,
She
no, no, no,
didn't
no,
get
no,
up
no,
until
no, no.
about 1 minute
You
past and the
just
brushing
took
stopped.
all the fun
She
out
answered
of
the phone
being
and
at
it was her
home.
mom.
That is a problem for me. And I don't approve this video.
What's wrong with you?
Okay?
What's
I
wrong
do
with you?
not.
You stuck,
All right?
Fill the room with the juice. That's a lot of loot. That bit fire. Yeah, she kinda cute.
Welcome back to the channel, you guys. If you can't already tell, today is just, we're all out of whack today, okay? We're all out of whack. I just got home, and when I tell you I need to get out of these clothes, like I'm just sick of, honestly, let's change real quick. Hold on, because I need a t-shirt. Perfect. Literally, I'm exhausted. I'm seriously so tired. I don't know what it is about getting older, but you seriously used to be able to do so much in a day. Like you'll do this and you'll do that, and then you go see your friends, and then you go do this and you go do that. And like now I'm just like, oh, I'm exhausted. I'm actually drained. Like I'm just like, oh my God. But I'm actually, I had so much fun though. I had so much fun. Let me show y'all where I went. I went to this is what it was. Modern. Is it modern? Oh Lord, Modest Muse. My bad, y'all. Modest Muse. Okay, so if y'all want to join this nonprofit or hear anything about it, definitely look them up, because you know I was thoroughly impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty impressed. So that was fun. Great little networking event. Then I went and had some food. Yada yada yada. Anyways, besides the point, I just started getting this very spooky feeling of just like I need to go home. I need to just be in my bed and just chill and just eat food and do nothing and be by myself. So I decided, let's scare myself into doing it, because that is literally what I used to do. And I can't really do that anymore because I'm on medication now. So it's like, my brain's just not going to scare me into like that scary dark place, if you know what I'm saying. But I do love me some paranormal activities, some paranormal experiences. So we're going to be reacting to that while that's happening. I do have lasagna here. I don't know if I'm going to eat it because I also have a cake here too. I don't know if I'm going to eat that because I also have M&Ms too. I don't know if I'm going to eat that because I also have gummy bears too. I don't know if I'm going to eat that because I also have pasta too. So y'all see what I'm saying? I'm going to be eating tonight. So let's hop in this, because look, remember that headache I said I had? Yeah, that headache is still here. And I'm just trying to figure out who invited this person. Like, what are you doing here? No one asked you to be here. Go away.
He vanished right in front of both of us. People that didn't believe in the paranormal, what exactly happened to make you start believing? When I was a kid, I had an imaginary friend called Mr. Johnson. I would talk to and play with him all day, and my parents mostly ignored it because it seemed harmless.
Yikes.
Well, one day while my mom was out watering the yard, a neighbor walked by and started a conversation. He said he was surprised that she moved in there because it was supposedly haunted, and that the previous tenant had died in the house. His name was Mr. Johnson. After that, my parents got really uncomfortable when I talked to my friend, and I eventually stopped interacting with him.
I'm done.
I also have a very vivid memory of talking to something on a curtain rod in the same house.
I'm not listening.
I can't remember what we were talking about, only that its voice was kind of raspy and weird.
Leave me alone.
When my dad came in and asked what the hell I was doing, I remember saying,
Nope.
Say I'm God.
Mm-mm.
So,
Nope.
I told my dad I was talking to God and thought the freaked out look he gave me was hilarious.
Nope.
Even though I had no real understanding of what God was or why that was such a strange thing to say.
It's all gross. Oh, ad already? Oh, this must be real scary. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, 2 ads? Oh, this must be even worse. I can't. Let's see what this lasagna looks like.
But not always affordable, which is where honey comes into play. Honey, but not this one. This one. Here's how honey works. Anytime you check out on your computer, it will search the internet, and if it finds a coupon code, it will apply it. Basically, honey pulled $10 out of thin air. Wow. Jeez. Money, something this good has to be really hard to get, but it's not. It just takes 2 clicks.
We'll see what it tastes like, but the meat looks a little...
Even Chandler can do it. Nice! Bada bing, honey is installed.
I forgot about the ad. I'm so disgusted. I mean, no, I'm not. It'll be good. Anyways, let's figure this out.
When I was 10, my family moved to an old house in a small town. The night we moved in, I saw a dark figure in the master bedroom mirror behind me. A man in a wide-brimmed hat, but just a black silhouette. I know kids are weird and unreliable. As far as I know, I just lived in an old, nasty house with a bug infestation. Maybe the landlord was trying to scare us into moving out. Our rent was late more than once. Everyone in the house had vivid nightmares nearly every night the entire time we lived there.
Yikes.
My younger brother couldn't sleep because of zombies in our room.
Yikes.
I had a bunk bed that was a twin on top and a double on the bottom.
Stop.
One night,
Please.
dead asleep, I somehow flew so hard off the top bunk that I landed a good foot away from the bed without touching the bottom bunk, which jumped
Please stop. Please stop.
out over a foot from the top. One morning, the kitchen floor was completely covered in
start
maggots.
getting itchy when
Another
I get
morning,
scared.
there was a mass of lizard corpses in the
Start
pantry,
feeling like
melted together in
stuff's
various
around
stages
me.
of decay. There was no way it was there before. Someone would have noticed. It was smelly and in plain sight. Finally, the trigger for my mom to say F this, I'm out.
Sweet.
There was a large building behind our house that had been some
Sweet.
type of big shed. We didn't use it because there was a giant beehive basically taking up an entire wall. I don't remember who saw it first, but there was a blurry, white apparition in the building's window. A woman in an older, traditional dress, the kind with a headscarf and apron. She was looking to the left. All of us saw her,
It's almost
4
Halloween.
people, and just stared for several
Just keep
minutes.
telling yourself.
I've blocked out a lot of that time in my life, but I remember enough to know there was something wrong with that house.
Stop. Please stop talking.
My childhood best friend had a Rottweiler, Tyler, who passed away a few years before we started hanging out.
Oh.
One night, I spent the night at his house and woke up in the middle of the night to a Rottweiler staring me in the face.
Shut up.
I thought it was his new Rottweiler he had, so I went to pet it and my hand just went right through it. I told him about it the next morning and they said it was normal for them to see or hear him still roaming around the house every once in a
you
while.
must be kidding.
I've had a few paranormal interactions since, but that was the one that solidified my beliefs.
Right. Like
My
what?
aunt used to live in an old, pre-Civil War house. The upstairs gave off a really creepy vibe to it. It wasn't used, so no one had any reason to go up there. A
I'm
lot of the
supposed to
time
listen to
I
this
would
for
leave to
15
run
minutes.
errands.
I'm already
We would
done.
come back and all the lights would be on
I'm
upstairs in
already
every
done.
room.
How
Mind
many
you,
of
she
y'all
lived
clicking
alone.
out? Because I'm done.
Well, one night we both walked up there to turn them off, and
I'm
as we
like,
rounded the corner
okay.
on the steps, we saw an old man at the top, and then he vanished right in front
I don't
of
want to
both
be
of us.
scared no more.
My aunt and I both hightailed out of there as fast as we could. I didn't stay the night with her again until she moved out of that place. Was sitting on the couch downstairs and could hear someone walking loudly up the stairs. Problem is the stairs were on the other side of the room from where I was hearing this. Sound was clear as day. I went upstairs and as 21-year-old I fell asleep on my parents' bedroom floor that night. It freaked me out so bad. Next morning, of course, my mom is asking why the hell am I sleeping in their room, and I explain I heard the stomping up the stairs but no stairs there and her mouth gapped open. The house hadn't been partially gutted and redone in 1989. 10 years before we moved in, and the stairs used to be exactly where I heard the stomping. I refused to believe my mom until we went upstairs, and sure enough, she showed me there was an indent in the ceiling right where the wall partitioning the room from the stairs would have been. I never believed in anything like that before. I'm still not sure I do. I mean, if I didn't learn that the stairs had been there, I would have thought it just went a bit nuts in the head for a minute.
Right.
Instead of believing I was hearing ghosts or something. But the remodel moving stairs was just too much of a coincidence.
La 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 la. I don't want to hear it. I'm literally scared. You literally.
$100 this year and thousands of dollars over your lifetime.
Like,
Honey,
shut
but
up.
not this one. This one.
Bye. Shut up, please. Like, I am freaking. What?
My home we bought is haunted. And it's been interesting because I am an
How the next one gonna
astrophysicist by
start like
trade,
that?
and it's been interesting to take what I
The
know to
homie
be
about
true
his
in the
concept.
universe and place that with what I and my family live with. All that being said, we adore her. I have probably the friendliest, most helpful ghost in the world.
Shut
When
up.
we bought the house, we knew it was funky.
I don't
Even we were
want
as
to
3
hear
days
it.
after we moved in, I realized that I had seen this house before from the angle I was sitting in on the couch.
You better stop talking.
In my dreams over various years.
Oh, God.
Anyways, the
No.
first thing we noticed was little
No.
things. If we left lights and they would switch off, you would hear the click of the switch. I heard walking around in my son's room one day. Didn't think anything of it for a full 20 minutes and then realized, hell, I'm home alone. Like I heard his door open and walking around. Okay. Spooky but harmless. If we lose something and we audibly say it's missing within around half a day, it will be found in plain sight on the table or couch. We always say thank you. Our cats will arch up and purr like someone is petting them. My daughter has been tucked in before. She thought it was me. Nope. We love
Leave
her.
me
The only
alone,
thing we have
please,
issues with is
God.
no laundry machines past 9 p.m. We
What
have
was
lucky
I
front motors.
doing?
Once they are
What
started,
was
it's a
I
pain to get them open.
thinking?
If someone starts a
Oh
late
my
load, you will come
God.
down to the
I'm
door open and
literally
machine
like,
off.
please stop
Only
talking.
past 9.
I'm just
So
gonna
now we
talk
just
over you,
respect it.
And
I
I'm
don't
not
know
going
who
to know
she
what's
is,
happening. And I'm
but
not going
this
to
is her
read
home
either.
too.
Not reading
We love
it.
her and say thank you and talk to her.
I'm
All
not,
of us do.
da,
Guests have told
da,
us our house is haunted without us telling them.
I'm scared. Leave me alone.
My all-time favorite story is I have a friend who doesn't
Shut
believe
up.
in ghosts and she spent the whole day talking mad stuff.
Stop.
She retires to one of the guest rooms and within 20 minutes she comes down sobbing and her hair is bright red.
Stop.
She was half asleep and she heard soft movements in the wax. Someone flicked her hair.
Stop.
Hard. She doesn't talk bad anymore.
Stop.
Or stay over. That's the only time Our Lady has been aggressive.
Stop.
But I'm glad she is here.
Stop.
She is our family now, as creepy and weird and dumb as
Stop
that sounds.
talking. Scary.
Probably too late now for anyone to see this, but it's something that's always made me think.
How
When
much
my sister
longer
was a
is
baby,
this? Like,
she
this
was
is,
always crying and would
I'm
not
not even
sleep through the night
halfway.
unless she
Oh
was
my
in bed
God.
with my mom. My stepfather worked nights at a hospital, so he was not there when this occurred. Mom told me she woke up because she felt a hard, bony finger tapping on her shoulder. She woke in with a start to this finger and realized in the night she had rolled on top of my sister and was suffocating her. If she had not woke up, my sister would have probably died. My mom turned around in a panic, thinking my stepdad had come home early and had poked her to wake her up, but he was not there, and wasn't there till the next morning. She swears to this day that an angel tapped her to wake her up to save my sister. When I was 20 or so, I worked for a carpet cleaning service. It was really just me and the two other guys who started it. I eventually proved myself and they gave me a van and my own clients to work. So I head up into the rural Tennessee hills to do a job one morning. It was a private house. I spoke with a middle-aged woman who owned it and began my process. Pulling out the machine, hooking up to a water source, etc. As I make my way through the house, I noticed that the woman I spoke with was hanging out in the kitchen and there was the husband doing work in the garage and out front. No other signs of people in the house. I'm making my way down the main hallway straight into the master bedroom, I assumed. As I push the machine in the room, watching what I'm doing on the floor, I see an older woman out of the corner of my eye. She is wearing a white gown, standing up out of a chair in the far right corner of the room. I look up to apologize and I see her briskly walk around an alcove where this chair was. I could not see the right wall of this alcove, so I assumed it was an exit and she was simply leaving so I could finish. I continue and make my way to the alcove, and as I turn into it, I see that it is a closet with the door ajar and light off. My heart sank and I quickly cleaned the rest of the job and booked it out of there. It never felt aggressive or anything. Peaceful, actually. Just an old soul
I'm going to
hanging out,
turn
I
you
guess.
down.
15 years later, and it's still so vivid in my mind. My mom told me this story.
My mom told me blah 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 blah. Like, look,
she was in her apartment.
I
no
wanted to be
roommates.
scared into staying inside,
her mom would come over
not
and do that often,
inside
so she assumed it was
with
her and
other
didn't look
things
back.
that are also
That's when the
inside.
phone
You know what I'm
started
saying?
ringing.
No.
She didn't get up until about 1 minute
You
past and the
just
brushing
took
stopped.
all the fun
She
out
answered
of
the phone
being
and
at
it was her
home.
mom.
That is a problem for me. And I don't approve this video.
What's wrong with you?
Okay?
What's
I
wrong
do
with you?
not.
You stuck on
All
it.
right? I
Getting
do
stuck
not
sucks.
know.
And how's-
I am no. I'm no. Okay?
Mom.
No. I'm scared.
Okay. This happened when I
Imagine
was 6 and I am nearly
being
50 now,
in
so my memory is a little
quarantine
hazy.
in a
I had a friend the same
haunted
age as me called
house.
Kelly. We used to hang out together with
I
other
can't even
children who lived in our
imagine something.
block
That
and
is hell
local
on earth
area.
right there. Excuse me. I
One
can't
afternoon,
leave the
Kelly
house.
knocked on my door.
I can't
answered
leave
and
the
she
house,
asked if I could go
but
to the
the
corner
house
shop with her to get some bananas so that we
needs
could
me
make
to
a
leave.
milkshake.
I don't think
Before
so.
I could
I don't
answer,
think
my
so,
stepmother
baby.
called down the stairs to say I had to clean my room and was not going anywhere. Kelly kind of shrugged and said she was going anyway, and that was the last I saw of her. Early evening came and her mother had knocked on every door looking for her. All of the dads got together and went looking for her. It got later and later, and when I went to bed she had still not been found. In the early hours of the morning I heard a noise outside of my bedroom window, a kind of intermittent moaning. When I looked out, I saw a policeman was sat on the wall sobbing and being comforted by another policeman. I watched for a while and then went downstairs. My dad told me Kelly had been found dead in front of our block. I later found out Kelly had been murdered by one of the older boys who hung out with us. I had to give a statement as I had seen Kelly the day before. Later police feedback that Kelly had been killed hours before she knocked on my door, and that my recollection of events was impossible. The man who owned the corner shop said Kelly had never come in to buy bananas. I'm pretty sure the police thought I was lying and that my mother was either lying as well or mistaken about what she'd heard. From that time onwards I have believed that Kelly came to visit one more time before she left for good, And since then the idea of the paranormal has just seemed normal.
Wow.
Something very strange happened to me when I was roughly 15 years old.
That is
I lived
crazy.
in a house with my family all my life, and it was the house I grew up in. Anyways, so my parents bought the house when it went up for sale due to an old man passing away in it naturally. 20 years later, we were looking at other houses and planning on moving due to the neighborhood changing for the worse. That's when weird things started happening. Somehow things started disappearing and relocating.
No.
Believe it or not, somehow a cucumber ended up on the sink in our bathroom
Not
upstairs.
a cucumber.
Then a rock mysteriously appeared in my room on my bed. And the worst of it was one morning I was awoken by a very firm grasp on my inner thigh. No one was home and it wasn't a dream. Nothing too crazy, but I believe some type of spirit got attached to our family or something and didn't want us to leave. It certainly was real and no one could explain it.
Nothing too crazy.
I thought that I struck and killed a girl that wasn't there.
That's crazy.
I was driving home late at night from a double shift, so admittedly I was tired. I had my radio blaring to keep awake. I was driving through the backwoods on a road that I had learned to take as the occasional shortcut.
I don't know what I was thinking doing this. This is awful.
Congested, but at night it was always empty save for a stray deer or a raccoon.
Awful.
I'm driving, jamming out, and admittedly speeding. I take a corner too quickly, and there in front of me was a young girl about 19 or 20 with long dark hair, wearing jeans and a light-colored blouse. For a split second, I saw her eyes reflected in the headlights, saw the look of shock and fear on her face, and I swerved hard off the road and into a ditch. There was no way that I didn't hit her. I jumped out of the car and started walking back to the spot I had last seen her and flagged down a passing car to tell them to call 911.
Not listening.
This was in the days before everyone had cell phones. Cops came, EMT came, and there was no one. No body, no girl. And I was given a sobriety test on the spot. I get home much later than I should have, and my wife is waiting for me as I hadn't arrived on time. I'm shaken as I can still see the girl's face in my head, and I recant the story to my wife, who goes white. She runs upstairs and grabs a yearbook and tells me to flip through the senior pictures. Page 3. There she is, looking exactly as I had seen and described her.
Damn.
I ask my wife if she knows the girl, or if she has hers or her family's number. That's when my wife informs me that the girl died 3 years prior during a hit and run around that exact curve. I wasn't from the area. There were no ghost stories involving that road.
Crazy.
And I had no way of knowing that the girl that I picked out of a lineup of seniors was already dead.
Stop.
To this day, I still wonder what happened. Was I tired? Had I heard her name or seen her face on a memorial newscast or clipping and not registered it? Or had I actually encountered what to this very moment I still consider the most terrifying event in my life, as I honest to God thought I was going to jail?
Yeah, right?
I'm not 100% positive, but I can say this. I can still see her face lit up by my headlights clear as a goddamn bell.
It's probably like...
I haven't really had anything happen to me as an adult that has reconfirmed my beliefs.
All the drivers
but my mom
there,
always used to tell me stories of stuff that would happen to her when
Either
I was
way,
a
that's
baby
scary.
and we were
That
renting a
is
specific house in the
absolutely
hills.
mother effing terrifying.
She said unexplained things always used to happen to her after I was born.
This cake ain't even getting eaten
such
because
as
I'm
taps
scared.
turning on in the kitchen by themselves when she was
Can't
sitting
even
in the
eat.
lounge room and could
Just
see the kitchen sink from where she was.
Crack cake.
Pictures would fall from the walls,
Crack
but when
cake.
she would look
Ruined
at
the
the nail,
crack
it was
cake.
sticking out straight and not bent,
Hard
therefore
to do.
making the picture fall. The rocking chair in the lounge would often rock as though someone was in it.
God.
And the creepiest of all, if you ask me, she would hear footsteps go up the stairs and into the room above, my room, and hear something playing with all my toys. I was a tiny baby, so it wasn't
Not
me.
reading.
Safe to say, Mom never left me in a room on my own.
No. Please leave me alone. Oh, there's an ad. Thank God. Normality. Oh, yes, normality. I needed you. Oh, damn it. And we're back. Okay.
I'm not overly religious.
I'm not
or religious
overly
at all, really,
not trying to hear
but
you.
I have a solid
Stop.
belief in guardian angels.
Okay.
When I was younger, I would have nightmares that would haunt me for months at a time,
Okay.
making it so that I would struggle to sleep for fear of the
All right,
nightmares
I'm going
returning.
to try to hear what you have
Well,
to say.
eventually I decided to try praying every night before bed. Not to any deity in particular, just to my guardian angel.
Interesting.
The night that I started praying was the night that the nightmares stopped.
Oh, wow.
At first I thought it was just coincidence, but the next time that I had a nightmare was on a night when I had fallen asleep without praying.
Oh, wow.
It's been 4 years and I still pray every night, still to my angel, and every night I get a peaceful rest.
Wow.
Thanks for listening to Radio TTS.
Wow.
Hit the subscribe button and activate the
Wow.
notification bell for more videos.
I'm actually really glad it ended that way because you know what? We need to pray tonight after that because look, I'm done. I literally, I apologize because I thought it was going to be like, I don't know what I thought it was going to be actually, but that terrified the living crap out of me. Like, I'm literally just scared now. Like, I'm just like, I'm ready to go to bed. I honestly don't even want to edit this. Like, when I tell you I am not looking forward to editing this at all, I don't even want to hear it again. I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Yes, that's great that that's happening out there. Yes, I believe in it. But look, it is time for me to go to bed. And I do not need to be scared like this. Like, I don't know why I thought I could handle this video at this hour. I don't know what I was thinking. OMG, I'm gonna take my sleep medication, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Okay? All right. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. See you later, and don't forget to pray. Okay? Don't forget to pray before you go to sleep. Don't forget to pray. We're praying tonight. All right, and that's on period. Goodbye for my skeptics, and thank you for absolutely nothing at all. Just leave me alone. I